Welcome to a special edition of Yin Gentle Somatic Yoga, Marma Point, Values. What we're doing now is we're working through the energy currents, and the energy currents connect with the chakras. They also connect with Marma points. This is all from Ayurveda, and we're revitalizing our body by working through the energy currents. So let's start with imagine you're holding a ball in front of you. And as you breathe in, I want your arms to go out. And as you exhale, your arms to come in. But really feel like it's a ball of energy that you're holding. You can do this with eyes open or closed. Keep your knees soft. Inhale, feel the energy expand. Exhale, the energy comes in. Inhale, feel the energy expand. Exhale, the energy comes in. Really sense this ball of energy. Feel the energy expand and exhale the energy in. So now we're going to imagine we're flowing the energy up the front of our body and down the back of the body like a waterfall of energy. So you might want to take a slight bend in your knees. Be very careful bending over that because it's pretty early. You don't want to hurt your back. You might do something like this. Energy comes up the body. And then on the exhale, the energy goes down the back of the body. So once again, you're moving this energy. We have a field of energy that surrounds us and goes down, and go at your pace. You don't have to go as fast as me, or maybe you feel like faster. Lifting the energy up and then let it go like a shower down your body. Lifting the energy up and down the body. And lifting the energy up and down the back of the body. So just shake things out for a second and just move things around organically and see how you're feeling. We're trying to get this energy moving. So there are 72,000 energy channels according to Ayurvedic, and they kind of start at the belly and go everywhere from there. So you can circle the energy around here. And when we're doing the circling, in this area, we're doing the Samana Vayu, and then circle the other way. And just again, feel that energy moving. And then we'll have our hands from the belly and then just open up Vyana Vayu and in. Open up, expand the chest and in. On the exhale, open up and then draw it back in and open up and draw it back in. So we're going to work a few Marma points as well when we're doing this opening of these energy channels in the middle of our body. So make a fist, and then under your collarbone, if you stoop over like this, you've kind of loosened things up there so that you can get this fist in this area. So kind of go round 3 times this way and around 3 times the other way. This is very good. This Marma point, let me see. This is a really interesting Marma point. I want to get my notes on this. So circle one direction and circle the other direction. This clears congestion in your lungs and your heart. It releases intense emotions. It's also part of lung 1 and lung 2 in traditional Chinese medicine. Let's go ahead and take the other. We'll come up for a minute and open up your chest for a minute. And then form a fist with your other hand. Round forward. Find like a soft spot under your collarbone. slouch open. So this also opens up your breathing, your diaphragm, and your lungs. Okay, now let's open things up again. And then shake that out. So that's another Marma point we're going to do is we're going to make a Popeye muscle, right? Make your Popeye muscle. And then the very top of the Popeye muscle, which is the top of the bicep, you're going to either use 3 fingers or your thumb. Relax the arm now and circle one direction. And then the other direction 3 times. Do this a few more times. So this helps the heart. It's great for energy and vitality. Very good for fatigue and aches and pains in the body. Good for circulation. And believe it or not, it's good for digestion. So make the bicep into a Popeye muscle. And then the very head of the muscle is the point. Now soften the arm, and you're going to circle one direction for 3 times. Circle the other direction for 3 times. Go back to the first direction for 3 times. And back to the other direction for 3 times. Shake your hands out, shake your arms out, move your shoulders around. And for a moment, close your eyes, place one hand on your heart and one hand on the belly. And let's just check in. How does your energy feel now? You should feel, even though we haven't like run or done anything really extreme, we've been moving the energy through these channels, these nadis, through the points, through the currents, through the chakra wheels. And you should feel a little more vital right now. It's all about vitality, working with these energy currents. Okay, there is one more that I wanted to go over with you, which is, these are points on the legs. So bend your knees slightly, come about halfway down, and you're placing your thumbs on your inner thighs, and your hands are sort of surrounding the legs. And it's a tender point under your thumbs. So circle one direction 3 times, circle the other direction 3 times. This is great for the downward current of energy. It helps circulation in your legs and feet, can lower blood pressure. It helps the colon and the heart, and more energy flowing through the limbs. All right, go ahead and stand up, check in again. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and just notice how you feel. So we're going to put our hands in a mudra that might look like something you see if you go to a sporting event. You know how they have the one finger up, your index finger, and all the other fingers wrapped around? This is actually a mudra, although they probably aren't aware of it when they make all those paraphernalia that have the one finger up for like go, go, go. And we're going to move in and out of a warrior one, adding some arms with this mudra. So it would look something like this. And open the heart and have the finger up, and then bring the leg back. And then go to the other one. Open the heart, bring that finger up, expanding the chest, bring that leg back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And once again, let's check in with our energy. Right hand on the heart. Left hand on the belly. You might close your eyes and just see how the energy is flowing throughout your body. So we're going to do a standing series to move the energy around the joints. So let's start with, let's start with our feet joints. So I want you to rock forward, rock back, rock forward, rock back, forward and back, and forward and back. And then we'll next work on our knees. So circle one direction gently, circle the other direction. So this is one of the areas where our energy can get really stuck. It's around the joints, and that causes a lot of pain, right? So we are now circulating Vayu energy currents throughout our joints. Now let's do our hips. Circle the energy around the hips. And circle the other way. We're doing this 3 times each direction. Go the first way. Come back this way. Now place your hands on the rib cage. Try to keep your lower body relatively still and move the upper body. So I'm just going side to side initially. Try to get that rib cage to move. And then go forward and back like chicken wings and get the rib cage to move that way. And then try to circle that rib cage, really focusing on the rib cage and not the hips. The hips are going to move a little bit. Go ahead and go the other way. And then let's do the shoulders, swimming shoulders. And then swim the shoulders the other way. And then to support your neck by taking 2 fingers from each hand and placing them in that indent right below the skull, the suboccipitals, and just circle, circle. And then don't do too big a circle. That's, you don't want to wrench your neck or yank it. And lastly, let's go ahead and do our wrists. So interlace the fingers together, draw the wrists and the elbows toward each other, then press the elbows away, keeping the wrists still together. Now let the wrists release from each other, but the fingers are still together. Turn the hands to face me. Lift up over the head and circle down. Now, if you can, cross your fingers the other way, the more uncomfortable way. Like if you always put the right thumb behind the left, put it in front of it. Start with elbows together and wrists together. Press elbows apart, keep wrists together. Now let wrists come apart, fingers are still together. Turn the hands inside out, lift over the head. Now this time, let one arm drop down as you twist toward that side. Bring it back up. Let the other arm drop down as you twist toward that side. Bring it back up. Twist and up and twist and up. Go ahead and circle the arms again. Let's do one more thing with a warrior 1. So get back into your warrior 1 position. So if you have your right leg forward, we're going to circle the left arm gently. Now bend the elbow as much as you need so that you are not wrenching the shoulder. So the more injury you have in that area, the more the elbow should bend as you're doing this. Go ahead and switch, just facing the other way and circling. So we're moving the energy around in all different directions. Let's go ahead and shift toward the other side and let's circle the other way. Again, when you're bringing your arm back, your elbow may have to bend a lot if you have an injury. If you don't, you could do the full circle. But I feel like for me, it's more comfortable bending it. So be careful, be aware of the restrictions in your body and don't force it. Be gentle with yourself as you're working with this energy current. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So it's almost like a freestyle swimming, right? So today, if you're doing it live with me, is the summer. Well, it's almost the summer solstice. We're on the eve of the summer solstice. And the summer solstice is all about the vibrant energy of the sun. So we will do one sun salutation. I don't do a lot of sun salutations in my practice just because of lots of injuries. And I'm going to recommend some modifications for anybody who's been dealing with any injuries. So start with your hands at your heart. You could be at the front of your mat. Breathe here in and out a few times. Maybe you're facing the sun. This is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, shortest day of the year in the Southern Hemisphere. Draw the arms up to the sky, slight back bend on an inhale. Bring your hands back together in namaste, bend knees, lengthen spine. Place hands on thighs. You could even place your whole belly on the thigh to protect the back. Drop the head down and shoulders down. Soften the head, neck, and shoulders. Take one foot back, then the other foot back. You can come directly down to knees or stay in plank for a breath or two. If you're down on your knees, shift all the way back into a modified child's pose. Place forearms down. Very slowly ease your way down to your belly. Hands to the side of the chest. Gently push up into a cobra pose or modified cobra. You could even do Sphinx pose, where your arms are in front of you with elbows bent and you're on the forearms. Breathing here. Now from here, if you are doing a downward dog, you could make your way to a dog. If you are not doing a downward dog, you could just do hands and knees again into a puppy pose like this. You're still getting the same length of your spine. So you're either doing a full dog or a puppy pose. Whatever one you're doing, everybody end up on the hands and knees. Lift the feet off the ground and allow your feet to go side to side, creating a C curve in your body. Press back one more time to a modified child's pose. Then if you're using blocks, you might want to grab the blocks and draw the right leg through. And let's move back and forth. Now, in the gentle somatic yoga tradition, when we move back and forth, we do nerve flossing. So when you are moving forward, you can lift the toes off the ground. When you are coming back, keep those toes on the ground. When you're going forward, toes lift off the ground. When you're coming back, toes stay on the ground. Now from here, we're going to pivot this back leg around. So now you're on your one knee with the one leg off to the side. The block can be very helpful here. Put your hand on the block. You can start with your other hand on the waist or supporting the neck. Open up the chest. If you want and your neck is not bothering you, you could draw the hand up. If the neck is bothering you, please continue to support that neck. Breathing. And then come up to an upright position. Slide your hand down your leg. The other hand can stay on the back, on the neck, or go over your head. Breathing. All right, come back to center. Let's pivot back around to hands and knees. And this time we'll do some hands and knees, cat-cows, but in the somatic style, which means when you drop your belly, drop the chin. Come through neutral. When you draw your belly in, lift the chin. The shoulders are coming up to the ears. Soften everything back to neutral. Make sure you're softening those shoulders. Drop the belly. Drop the chin. Back through neutral. Lift the belly. Lift the chin. Back through neutral. So now you're drawing the other leg through. I'm going to turn around so that I'm still be facing you. You're drawing your left leg through. Let's move back and forth. When you draw yourself back, your toes stay on the ground. When you go forward, lift those toes up. Draw back, toes on the ground. Come forward, your toes lift up. This is nerve flossing. Back, toes stay on the ground. Forward, lift toes up. Now pivot around this back leg. Stretch out the other leg to the side. Use the block and lean over, either supporting neck, hands on waist, or hands overhead. And open up, open that shoulder to the sky. A few times opening and closing, opening and closing. Come to an upright position. Lean toward that leg, possibly supporting the neck or keeping hand on the waist or hand overhead. And then draw that knee in. Let's just move our hips around a few times and the hips around the other way. And then let's come to seated and do a mudra practice. We've moved a lot of energy around today. So get yourself in any comfortable seated position. So before we do our official mudra practice, what I'd like to do is just have our energy move up and down the channels in a snake-like fashion. So just do your hands like this. On the inhale, and then your hands make a snake and cross over each other on the exhale. So what we're doing is we're connecting the Ida and the Pingala channels through the Sushima channel, which is your central channel. And again, moving energy. Now for a moment, just sit here and check in with your energy. You could take one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and check in. All right, I'm going to set us up for our Vitam mudra, which is the mudra about energy. So I got to get to there's so many different ways to find things in our in our book. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm going to do the Vayana Vayu Mudra. Let's see. Number, yeah, 37. 37. I think I'll do that one. Okay. So the Vayana Vayu Mudra is a gesture of the all-pervading current of energy. Very good for the health of your nervous system. So I will get closer so you can see what I'm doing. So on the right hand, you touch the tip of your thumb to the tip of the ring finger. Tip of the thumb to tip of the ring finger on the right hand. So you have the other three fingers pointing up. On your left hand, you touch the tip of the thumb to the tip of the middle finger. And then, so you have two different things going on. Right hand to ring finger, other fingers up. Left hand is thumb to middle finger. And then just go ahead and rest the hands on the thighs or the knees with your palms facing up. So we are nourishing the flow of subtle energy to support our nervous system. So if you feel comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. The Vayana Vayu is the all-pervading current of energy that moves from the center of your body to the extremities. It supports the free flow of blood and nerve impulses at a subtle energetic level. Your gesture directs your breath and your energy throughout your entire body, especially into the joints. It increases sensitivity within your extremities, and it's very helpful for bringing warmth to hands and feet. So even though we're in the summer, some of us who have cold hands and cold feet because we don't have great circulation, this can be super helpful for. So your guided meditation is supporting clear communication, and that's clear communication inside your body. So as you hold the Vayana Vayu Mudra, take several natural breaths. Tune into all the feelings and the sensations awakened by the gesture. Take a minute to do so. You might be noticing the electrical impulses inside your body. Notice how this gesture supports your breath in flowing freely. Take time to experience the harmony of the breath and the energy. Feel more sensitivity within your body. This should allow you to perceive subtle sensations. With this enhanced sensitivity, tune in to the subtle energetic pathways that link your brain to each part of your body, naturally nourishing them with vitality. First, begin by bringing awareness into your legs and feet. With each inhale, trace the feeling of subtle energy from those areas up to your brain. And then with the exhale, sense the vital energy flowing back to nourish them. Inhale energy from the extremities to the brain. Exhale flows back to nourish the extremities. Now bring your awareness to your pelvis, your buttocks, your abdomen, and low back. With every inhale, sense the flow of subtle energy rising up from these areas to your brain. And then with the exhale, sense these areas being filled with vital nourishment. Inhale energy from pelvic area to brain. Exhale energy flowing back to these areas. Now bring awareness to the shoulders. Oh no, let's do our chest, our solar plexus, our mid and upper back necks. So bring your awareness to those areas. With each inhale, sense the flow of subtle energy from the solar plexus, the chest, the mid and the upper back, going up to the brain. And then with the exhale, sense the energy flowing from the brain into these areas, revitalizing them. We're opening up the energetic pathways more completely, sensing a free flow of health and vitality, bathing these areas of your being. Now bring awareness to your shoulders, your arms, your hands and fingers. With every inhale breath, sense the flow of subtle energy from the fingers all the way to the brain. And with the exhale, the vital nourishment goes back into the upper extremities. Take several breaths, tuning into the free flow of vital energy along these subtle pathways, allowing greater feeling and sensitivity to infuse these areas of your body. Now allow the awareness into your neck and head. With every inhaling breath, sense the flow of subtle energy from the neck and the face into the brain. With each exhale, sense these areas being fully nourished by the vital energy flowing through your subtle energetic body. Feel the nourishment and the vitality flowing through your neck, your head, and your senses more completely. Lastly, allow your awareness to encompass your entire body. With each and every inhale, sense the flow of subtle energy into the brain. With every exhale, feel that nourishing energy fill up all areas of your body. It's cultivating communication and sensitivity within your nervous system. Let's affirm the enhanced sensitivity by repeating the following 2 times out loud and then 2 times silently. Attune to my body's subtle pathways. Clear communication is reestablished. Attuned to my body's subtle pathways. Clear communication is reestablished. Now say this silently. Go ahead and release the gesture. Move your fingers around. You might even need to rub them. Gently blinking open the eyes, breathing naturally, sensing this new clear communication flowing throughout your body. And we will make our way down to our backs. You might want to spread a blanket out to make it easier to slide your limbs. Okay. So when we're working the Vayana Vayu, because we are working that energy current, you really have to kind of keep movement in your body. Somatics works really well with that because we don't really hold things. We just keep things gently flowing to keep the communication going. So we'll start off with the one that looks like we're making a tree pose on the ground. And then the knee will go straight up, and then you'll gently allow the knee to cross your center line. Let me have a sip of my tea. So get comfortable on your back, whatever you need to be comfortable. Hopefully it's okay to straighten your legs out. We're not staying still in this position. We'll start by just sensing the energy in the legs. You might just gently shake them a little bit. Allow the feet to flop out and flop back in, just with some subtle movement. And then engage the muscles of the left leg as if you're standing on it. Allow everything to be loose on the right side. Drag the right foot gently up as if you're going into a tree pose. And at the same time, gently allow the arms to go over the head as if you're doing a tree pose. Keep your elbows bent if you have shoulder difficulties or something to elevate the arms, elevate the floor. Now allow the knee to come up toward the center. Knee is pointing to the sky. Draw hands under the kneecap. Go up and down a few times with the leg and point the toes at the top, flex at the bottom, point the toes at the top, flex at the bottom. Allow the foot to come back to the ground. Now the knee is crossing the midline. Roll that right hip slightly off the ground. Extend the right arm to the side, palm facing the sky. The head can turn gently toward the right. Come back a little bit towards center, but slide the leg back to the starting point on the inside of the foot. Shake that leg out, shake both legs out, and repeat this to the other side. So you're sliding up on the outside of the foot to the tree pose as arms are extending up as if you're doing a standing tree. You could even do that one finger up, the other fingers wrapped around like the at sports stadiums. And then as the knee comes to face the sky, draw hands under the kneecap, lift the leg, point the toes, lower the legs, flex the toes. Do this a couple more times. Let the foot come to the ground. Oh, I forgot. When the foot comes to the ground, you can spread your arms out in a T, palms facing up. Allow the knee now to cross your midline. If you want, you can help it with the right hand. And you could look to the left. Put that foot back on the ground, but now you're on the inside of the foot. Slide the foot down to neutral. Release everything, shake things out, and just check in and see how you're feeling. If you need to let your head sway side to side to loosen any neck muscles, go ahead and do that. So draw feet toward each other. Allow knees to flop off to the side. Allow arms to open up. Your palms are facing the sky, but now draw the thumbs toward the ground and allow your baby fingers to turn up. So you're going beyond palms facing your sky. Your hands are turning inside out a little bit. Lift the chin. Now turn the hands in, bring the knees together, draw the knees towards your body, tuck the chin. Place the feet back on the ground, spread the hands out. The arms are facing the sky, the palms are facing the sky. Allow the knees to open, chin to go up. Draw the thumbs to the ground, pinkies up. We're opening up a flower. Now turn the hands to the palms to the ground, tuck the chin in, knees come together, draw knees up, and release, placing feet on the ground. Knees are bent, feet can be wider than hip distance. Allow the knees to slowly go to one side. If you want, the head can go to the other side. It doesn't have to. So if your knees are going left, lengthen the right arm along the ground above the head in a full yawn. Draw everything back to neutral. Pause here in neutral. Allow the knees to go to the right. Allow the hand to be facing the sky. Slide it above your head. And when I say above the head, that's still touching the ground, but just above, toward the front of the top of your mat. Let's do that one more time. Change the position of the legs a little closer. Try it again. Come back to the center. Have knees drop the other way. The arm slides on the ground above the head. Maybe your neck is allowing you to turn toward that way. If not, you're keeping your head centered. Now move the feet closer together and knees closer together. Place hands on the hip bones. The last windshield wiper will have hands on hips as feet and knees stay together. You can still gently turn your head. And in fact, when your knees go to the left, you can place your forearm on the ground and slightly arch the right side of the body. Come back to center. When your knees go to the right, draw the arm a little bit under the body, creating a slight arch, and back to neutral. And just for a moment, stretch out and let's check in again. If palms are comfortable facing the ceiling, go ahead. If they're not, you could turn them palms down. Just notice your energy. You might want to do a cooling breath. In the summer, in order to cool ourselves, we might need to do a breath like Sitali, where you just breathe in through the nose, make a kind of a rounded beak through your mouth, and just make a kind of a hissing sound as you let the breath out. Breathe in through the nose again. Form your mouth into a beak and just let it come out in a nice cooling breath. So bend your knees back up again and feet are on the ground. Let's rock the hips forward and back. So this is a pelvic tilt, but the best imagery that works for me is a rocking chair. So imagine you're a rocking chair and you can be a very gentle rocker or if your body is calling for it, a little more vigorous. But just make sure to rock evenly forward and back. Notice what's touching the ground as you rock this way. So we'll add in a bridge pose to the rocking. So if you want to allow your arms to work with the rocking, you could bend your elbows. When you rock forward, your palms go to the ground. When you rock back towards your body and lift up your hips a little bit, you can draw the forearms slightly to the sky. So you're adding in arms with the rocking, and you're adding in a slight bridge pose. Use your breath. Now, draw knees up to the sky. Either place hands around kneecaps or on kneecaps, and you can rock a little bit more with the knees up. Again, be very aware of your own body. If this bothers your low spine, then you can just be moving the legs back and forth. Some of you might want to really rock and roll into a ball. I used to do that. In fact, I don't know if I want to try it or not, but I'd be something like this, keeping my chin tucked. It's not really appropriate for me anymore, but you might like that. After you've done a few more of these, then rock side to side a few times with your knees up. In fact, cross the ankles and do circles, circling the hips. Notice where the cross of the ankle is. Change the cross. Continue in the same direction with the circling. Go back to the first cross and circle the other direction. Maintaining the same foot position, change the direction of your circling. And then we'll end in a held position. We'll actually do two held positions. If you have a bolster, a rolled blanket, or some people like blocks, put it under your low back. We're doing legs up in the air. Now, if you also have a strap or a wall nearby, you could lean your legs on the wall or grab a strap to hook around your legs. And that just makes the pose a little more restorative because it requires less effort on your muscles and more just really restoring yourself. So I like creating a loop around my strap that I'm going to slide all the way down my thighs to support the muscles of my legs with my legs up in the air. If you don't have that kind of setup, you can just hold the strap in your arms. That unfortunately requires a little bit of muscular effort on the arms. Or if you know how to get yourself up against the wall and do it. The up against the wall can be challenging only because you have to get your butt as close to the wall as possible to really feel that support. So whatever one you're doing, just make sure you've elevated your hips somewhat. Okay, so if you're using the looped strap, you would make the loop just big enough to go around your thighs and keep them in place. So that's what I've done. My loop goes around my thighs. You might have to shift your bolster or rolled blanket just to get it comfortable. You want to feel the elevation of your hips above your heart. And some people actually also need something small under their head. If you're going to use a blanket, don't make it too folded, just enough to kind of curl around your neck to kind of give you just a little bit of a support or cushion. So once you find your way comfortably into this, you might take your right hand back on your heart, your left hand on your belly, and check in. How's your energy feeling now? It's time to rest. We'll stay here for another minute or so, and then I'm going to show you one other really lovely restorative pose that you may have done before, but it's a wonderful chest opener, and it's a great restorative pose. So give yourself another minute in the pose that you're in. So very, very, very slowly, you might lower your legs first, then lift your hips up to slide whatever you have underneath it out. And if your legs were strapped up, be very careful to unstrap your legs too. So the last pose, you could actually stay here for Shavasana. It's really a lovely pose. It's a chest opener. Some people call it Mountain Brook pose from some traditions. It really is helpful to have two blocks in this. Have one, the block that's going to be under your head is going to be this direction. So that's like the second level. And then the block that's a little further under your shoulder blades are the lowest level. Your rolled, if you don't have a bolster, you could just do this with the blocks and just lay blankets over it. If you have a bolster, you're making a complete incline. And the only other thing you might need to add is for here, where your back is going to be, you might need the transition to the floor to be a little less extreme. So in that case, taking a blanket and having the blanket be where your butt is. So my spine is going directly up here. And then, so you place your butt as close to the edge of the bolster if you have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, then this is going to be a slightly different pose. It's just going to be on the blocks. But if you do have a bolster or pillow, you lay back all along this lovely bolster. And some people actually even put, if they have extra cushions or something under their knees, if they want to do that, your shoulders should be rolled back. The other thing, if you really want to make this comfortable, is you put something under each arm so that your arms are not so extremely down. And last but not least, if your head feels like it needs more support, you could put a towel under the neck. And then you just sigh and go, whoa, does this feel good? Now, if you don't like your legs in this position, there's two other potential leg positions. Feet wide, knees close together. Some people like that. Some people just stretch their legs completely out and just settle into rest while I get your reading. Mhm. And sometimes I like to just open the book to whatever page it opens to and have that guide me to the reading. So today that's what I did. And the reading today is called The Heart's Blossom. Courage is the heart's blossom. All courage is threshold crossing. Often there is a choice to enter the burning building or not, to speak the truth or not, to stand before oneself without illusion or not. But there is another sort of courage we're talking about here. The kind when afterward the courageous are puzzled to be singled out as brave. They often say, I had no choice. I had to run in that building for the child, or I had to quit my job, or I would have died. Despite all consequences, there is an inevitable honoring of what is true. And at this deep level of inner voice, it's not a summoning of will, but a following of true knowing. My own life is a trail of such following. Time and again, I have heard deep callings that feel inevitable and which I could have ignored, but only at great risk of something essential perishing. It is this honoring of what is true that guided me through my cancer experience, saying no to brain surgery and yes to rib surgery, saying yes to chemo and no to chemo. Each decision appeared both courageous and illogical to my doctors. Since then, I've been called heroic for surviving, which is like championing an eagle for finding its nest. And I've been condemned as selfish for seeking the truth, which is like blaming a turtle for finding the deep. Courage of this sort is a result of being authentic. It's available to all, and its reward, far more than respect, is the opening of joy. So in the last moment, meditate on a decision that you're struggling with. Rather than focusing on your fear of what might or might not happen, try opening to what feels true. Don't strategize or imagine the consequences. Simply let the truth as you know it arise in you. So this signals the end of our time together. Take your time, make your way to seated. Gather anything from today's practice and draw it into you. I hope this practice revitalized your energy, brought your Vayana, Vayu, this current more in balance, and that you feel your best today. Namaste.